Hello guys, welcome back to Defying Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Swallowed Star Part 349 based on novel. So let's start. It wasn't that Sector Beast Morosa hadn't met a universe master. Many true gods would send universe masters to inspect first, but nobody performed Space Seal, and nobody had a force so terrific or powerful. You are. Sector Beast Morosa stared at the man in golden armor stepping through space, coming at him. Human Milky Way Horde leader Luo Feng? Yes. Luo Feng took back the spaceship and stared at the Sector Beast Morosa. I heard you are the strongest great being in the entire universe ocean. You're only a universe master, but you're the strongest great being. Sector Beast Morosa stared at Luo Feng. He sneered. It seems that the other true gods in Universe Ocean are so weak that you, as only a universe master, can become the strongest great being. Though he said as much, Sector Beast Morosa had already stopped eating the origin, and those traces of light started to spin around him. Apparently, he was being very careful and vigilant. After all, Luo Feng's reputation preceded him. He wouldn't underestimate this human before him. You'll know after we fight. Luo Feng's godly body had already performed Duan Mie. Hong, Hong, Hong. He immediately performed the first 3 volumes, and after burning his godly power, his power became incredible, stronger than the previous true gods. Generally, true gods only had 1 level of godly power technique. Few of them had 2 levels. Hua, Hua. Luo Feng was in golden armor. He waved his right hand, and out of nowhere, a chain with glowing green light appeared. The giant chain wound around Luo Feng's body. Just a universe master, Sector Beast was smirking, but it kept gazing at Luo Feng carefully with its bloody eyes. They were facing each other, observing each other. Suddenly, Sector Beast Morosa opened its mouth without making any sound. The soundless scream echoed in Luo Feng's soul. Luo Feng had stronger willpower than 9-headed devil god. As for energies, he had the most in Universe Ocean under 3 levels of godly power burning, and when it came to techniques, Luo Feng had 2 inheritances from the world of Jin and Duandong River. This so-called soul attack was like a breeze to Luo Feng. He didn't feel anything. Luo Feng wasn't affected at all. He whipped out the giant chain surrounding him. Go. Hua. La. A giant chain that looked like a python flew out. The chain twisted, slashed through the sky, and endless snow flowed in the space around the chain. The snow was fluttering, covering an area of 10 square light years. Time and space were forbidden. At this moment, Luo Feng had already utilized 2 valuables. One of them was the chain, a machine-type attacking weapon, by Yang Chain. The other was a domain machine-type valuable named Snow World. It had the ability to control space and time, was as powerful as Golden Country, perhaps stronger. In the past trillion eras, he had obtained many valuables from the world of Jin, so this time, he was well prepared. Even though this team didn't have as many valuables as the other team, the valuables Golden Horned Beast Luo Feng had were still awed by true gods like Divine Eye. The snowy world arrived as if the chaos space had been replaced by a world of white. The snow was falling. Sector Beast Morosa stood there, but it was surrounded by black mist. There were thickly dotted black threads around its body. A giant chain slashed the sky, and just as it flew across the sky, it became a large flow of water. The giant stream of water cut through the sky. Everywhere it touched, the space turned green, and there was green grass growing in space. The giant water flow splashed Sector Beast Morosa. Pa. It was extremely fast. The whip appeared to be soft, but actually, it was rapid and fierce. The giant flow of water turned from the chain and whipped Sector Beast Morosa. The parts of its body whipped by the chain sank, even its head molded like gold bullion. Pa. 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 The giant water pillar kept whipping the Sector Beast relentlessly, turning into a phantom. Luo Feng was staring into the distance, burning his godly power to its maximum degree. He triggered the engravings on that machine-type valuable, and he was performing a technique he had created, but of water and wood. The core of that technique was relentless. The water pillar kept whipping the Sector Beast, yet there was grass growing throughout the snowy world, and the liveliness permeated the space, suppressing Sector Beast Morosa. It kept whipping Morosa, turning it into chunks. However, it still hadn't crumbled. Who? There followed a furious roar. Sector Beast Morosa was furious, completely suppressed under the constant whipping. It was continually losing strength. Go! Sector Beast Morosa glared at Luo Feng in the distance. Hua! 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 All of a sudden, the black threads surrounding Sector Beast Morosa all flew toward Luo Feng in the distance, trying to cover him. They flew very fast, unhindered by the speed limit of Universe Ocean. Instantly, they reached Luo Feng, surrounding him like a black mist cocoon. Asterisk 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 asterisk. Inside the cocoon, Luo Feng was completely enveloped. The size of the cocoon was variable, and it was stuck to Luo Feng. It started to swallow his godly power. His indeed quick. Luo Feng nodded. Once it was performed, I was immediately surrounded. Firefly True Master was attacked by this move, and he couldn't dodge it. Luo Feng immediately shrank his godly body, but the black mist cocoon followed suit, shrinking along with him. Bigger, bigger, bigger. Luo Feng burned his power madly, trying to oppose the black mist cocoon around him. Even if it was Sector Beast Morosa, it was difficult for him to swallow godly power while it was burning like this. As soon as Luo Feng grew large, the black mist cocoon became 100 million kilometers tall. Asterisk 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 asterisk. Sector Beast Morosa was controlling the black mist cocoon, but it felt like the cocoon couldn't swallow much of the godly power. Morosa became anxious. When it saw the cocoon became 100 million kilometers tall, it realized something wrong. He's trying to get out. I won't let that happen. I'm much stronger than before. Want to get out? Break! Yelled Luo Feng, trapped in the cocoon. Break! The giant chain in space suddenly became straight as a spear. Then the gleaming spear slashed the cocoon like a dazzling streak of white light. The space the white light passed through wasn't shattered, but there were circles of strange, swirling ripples. At that moment, Luo Feng, inside the black mist cocoon, also used his claw. The claw was like a blade. It slashed without a sound, but all the space it threw past crumbled. One from the outside and one from the inside. The chain spear was outside, while the claw was inside. Both of them were machine-type valuables. Hong! Hong! The black mist cocoon suddenly shook. A tiny crack appeared on it, but it immediately recovered while Luo Feng was still trapped inside. I can't get out. Luo Feng looked surprised. That shouldn't be. I used two machine-type valuables at the same time, from both the outside and the inside. I was also burning my godly power to support it, so I should have broken the cocoon. It seems I need to burn more godly power. The resilience of the black mist cocoon made all the great beings from Universe Ocean realize how difficult it was to break it with a weapon-based attack. However, Luo Feng deemed that it was possible for him to do so. He had successfully produced a crack on the cocoon just now, so that meant he needed to improve his attacking power. Normally, the best way to break out was to use his own godly power to consume the power from the Sector Beast. He would just consume the power from the black mist cocoon so that the Sector Beast couldn't supply that much power anymore. Then it would crumble, as it didn't have that defense power. Asterisk 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 asterisk. Do you really think you can get out that easily? Sector Beast Morosa saw Luo Feng fail, and it smirked. However, the smile froze immediately. Hong! Luo Feng, who was trapped in the giant black mist cocoon that was 100 million kilometers tall, burned his godly power. Before being converted by machine-type valuables, it spread around like wildfire. Kai! 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 The energies contained in the black mist cocoon were being quickly annihilated. They were consuming each other. Break! Luo Feng reached out with his hands. His claws extended outward at the same time. After a faint roar from the beast, two strange beasts landed on his hands, grabbing the black mist cocoon at the front. He tore the black mist apart. Hua! The black mist cocoon was trying to consume the godly power of Luo Feng, and it was 100 million kilometers tall. At such a size, the energies consumed were so extravagant that even Sector Beast Morosa felt a huge burden. When the cocoon was consuming too much power, the binding strength naturally got weaker. Luo Feng tore at it again. It was unnecessary for him to use his techniques, as he could just tear it apart with his bare hands. He tore the black mist cocoon apart, then walked out into space. Is that all you've got, Sector Beast? Luo Feng dashed toward the Sector Beast in the distance like a streak of light. Sector Beast Morosa was intimidated. After all, he wasn't the ultimate king yet. When a Sector Beast became a king, its greatest function was to breed many super warriors. Sector Beasts rarely engaged others in combat, which meant the Sector Beasts were weaker in fighting but stronger at survival. I've already improved my power, but he still got out that easily. He's only a universe master, but he has such great power. The godly power I just used might be that of a true god several 100,000 kilometers tall. Sector Beast Morosa immediately decided to run away. I'm not strong enough. I need to get stronger by eating more miniature universes. I'll go. Sector Beast Morosa roared. An engraving with a black edge and a golden surface appeared. There were 99 engravings, and Hong, its body cracked and transformed into 99 traces of light. Luo Feng frowned. It immediately ran away after only a few comebacks. It's a coward. Universe chain, yelled Luo Feng. Hua. That giant chain immediately started to spin, morphing into many thick, long chains, all well dispersed. Hua. 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 10,000 chains flew outward like snakes diving at their target. It was like an umbrella being opened. Even the body of a Sector Beast couldn't be as fast as a machine-type valuable. All 99 bodies of Morosa felt as if everything had turned dark. It was like it had entered a miniature universe made of chains. All 99 bodies of Sector Beast Morosa flew toward different directions quickly. Their speed surged, and it completely surpassed the limit of universe ocean. However, the endless chains formed a miniature universe, sealing off the area around the Sector Beast. All of a sudden, those bodies kept hitting the membrane of the chain universe. The membrane was formed by the intertwining of levels of chains, and the clash made a sound like clashing metal. Howl. 98 of the 99 bodies disappeared, concentrating and forming the golden Sector Beast Morosa. Morosa looked around and saw the miniature universe formed by chains, suddenly realizing it couldn't get out of it. Asterisk 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 asterisk. Luo Feng saw that he had trapped Sector Beast Morosa with this move, and he felt relieved. He had separated his 3 bodies into 2 teams, and this team wasn't as well prepared as the other one. The Sector Beast had performed the same escape technique as it had back when it had killed Firefly True Master, so Luo Feng had prepared for it. As for the other team, they had Sha Wu Wing, so they could perform techniques like One Thought Void Space and other combinations. They were more powerful. As for this team, it was relatively weaker. Luo Feng only had 1 spiritual weapon machine type valuable, by Yang Chain to perform the technique Universe Chain. This was the evolved move of the inherited technique I Am the Universe he'd had before. Plus, it was performed through a machine type valuable, making it even more powerful. He also had a domain machine type valuable, Snowy World, to suppress the Sector Beast. Even if true gods like Nine-Headed Devil Master were trapped by me, they couldn't get out of this chain universe, Luo Feng thought. Asterisk 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 asterisk. Inside the chain universe, Sector Beast Morosa took a look around. The membrane in the distance was formed by countless chains, and there was a snowy world out there, empowering the whole thing. It was solid. Ha ha. Milky Way Horde leader, Sector Beast Morosa, who was trapped inside, guffawed. Do you really think you can trap me? You are already trapped by me right now, Sector Beast, rumbled a voice through the entire chain universe. If you really have the power to escape, then perform it. I can take it. Unfortunately, you can't. Sector Beast Morosa suddenly roared ferociously, and its entire body turned into dark light. Hong. Its speed surged, and gleaming, dark light slashed through space, hitting the chain universe membrane in the distance. The countless intertwining chains were hit, and the entire chain universe started to tremble. The snowy world outside the chain universe was trying to solidify the chain world. Sector Beast Morosa was shocked and had to step back. It looked at the chain universe membrane, dazed. It had used 99 bodies to hit the membrane before, so the power wasn't strong enough. Just now, it had gathered all of its body to hit it, which could rival the supreme attacks of great beings like Nine-Headed Devil Master. I failed. You won't be able to run away, the rumbling voice echoed through the entire chain universe. Impossible. Sector Beast Morosa roared. It then turned into a black streak of light and hit the membrane again. Hong. 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 It kept hitting the membrane universe. Sector Beast Morosa had already gone insane. It kept crashing into the chain universe, making the entire miniature universe shake, and the snowy world outside kept giving power to the chain universe. The crashing is so powerful. Outside, Luo Feng was intimidated as well. That Sector Beast Morosa is just like inborn beast gods. Every one of their moves has mysteries in it. The crashing seems to be simple, but it is actually more intricate than my techniques. Luo Feng knew that his techniques were elegant and complicated, and they could or many great beings. But they were at a lower level. The strongest technique he had created was level 8. As for true gods, those who were above average were able to create techniques at level 8. As for those like Divine Eye True Master, they were able to create techniques at top-tier level 9. That was the fundamental difference between universe masters and true gods. And perhaps it was the same thing for sector beasts. It might have never studied any techniques, but it could naturally wield mysterious techniques. However, with the combination of chain universe and the snowy world outside, it won't be able to escape the double suppression. Luo Feng kept burning his godly power at level 3, controlling by Yang Chain and the snowy world, the two machine-type valuables. Smaller, smaller, smaller. The entire chain universe was getting smaller under the control of Luo Feng. At the same time, a silver spaceship appeared beside him. It immediately bulged. As long as my supreme true treasure palace is large enough and swallows the entire chain universe, then that sector beast won't be able to escape it. Asterisk 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 asterisk. Just as Luo Feng outside the chain universe was taking out the silver spaceship, Sector Beast Morosa inside the chain universe started to roar, Milky Way Horde Leader. Are you trying to trap me into that spaceship? You can tell. Luo Feng said. He couldn't help being surprised. The Sector Beast was trapped inside the chain universe, and the space and time around it were enveloped by his snowy world. The Sector Beast shouldn't have been able to see it. Haha. You're using godly power, but my power is exactly the opposite of your power. Don't think that I am you. You want to trap me? Ha ha ha. Sector Beast Morosa had failed at crashing through the chain universe, but instead of giving up, it guffawed. You should be proud because you're forcing me to reveal my original body. All of a sudden, a black mist permeated around Sector Morosa. Then its appearance quickly changed from the golden giant being to an ugly monster that was dark and black. It had a pair of hands and feet and was naked. It had 2 heads at the front and back, and there was a single eye on each of its heads, along with a nose and a mouth, but there were no ears or eyebrows. It stood in space, emitting an evil aura. Break. Sector Beast Morosa suddenly turned both of its heads to the same side. Originally, one of the heads was facing the front while the other faced the back, but now, the head facing the back turned to face the front. There was gleaming, dark light bursting out of the Sector Beast's ugly body. The black light immediately concentrated and turned into a streak of bloody light. That gleaming, bloody light entered the eyes of the 2 heads of that Sector Beast. Shio. Shio. Both of the soul eyes produced a beam of red light. The light was so fast that it was as if it were teleporting. It immediately reached the membrane of the chain universe. Hong. There was a rumbling sound. Hong. The countless chains intertwining with each other suddenly crumbled, and the entire chain universe disappeared. Bai Yang Chain also bounced away, then turned around and floated above Luo Feng. Su. The Sector Beast Morosa had already traveled far. Want to get away? Luo Feng couldn't help but feel shocked by the move that the Sector Beast had used to break the chain universe, but he stopped thinking about it. Freeze. Luo Feng's eyes were like lightning, and they gazed at the Sector Beast Morosa. Wang. Sector Beast Morosa had immediately started to flee after escape the chain universe, but suddenly, a giant godly eye showed up in front of it, in the space in the distance. An invisible but terrific shock of willpower arrived and enveloped it, striking relentlessly. Ah! Sector Beast Morosa howled in pain. It had been a long time. It hadn't felt such pain for a long time, and it was just as painful as the last time it had been injured by Bay Di. Last time, it had been severely injured, and Illusion Heart True God and I Devil God had reached the nest of Sector Beasts. That had been when Morosa had decided to leave the nest of the Sector Beasts. It hadn't expected to suffer from such pain again, let alone in Universe Ocean. You've infuriated me. Sector Beast Morosa yelled furiously. Howl. After roaring, it shot a trace of black light out of his mouth, striking Luo Feng directly. It hit Luo Feng's body. Kai Kai Kai. The two energies were consuming each other. It had used the same move when it had killed Firefly True Master. The leftover body would be quickly swallowed and would die. However, Luo Feng's godly body was 100 million kilometers tall, so he had abundant godly power. Luo Feng didn't care much about godly power being mutually consumed, but he was indeed surprised by the attack from Sector Beast Morosa. What? It can still make attacks at full strength. Divine Eye Secret Technique was one of Luo Feng's trump cards. If he had Wu Qi God, She Wu Wing, Star Tower, and others with him, he would have some other trump cards. However, with Golden Horned Beast, which only carried some machine-type valuables, Divine Eye Secret Technique was the only trump card he had. And with that secret technique, Luo Feng was invincible in Universe Ocean. Ever since his willpower had reached the level of an eternal true god, he had already finished the 6th volume of Divine Eye Secret Technique. Against that technique, even those at the true god of void space level would faint. Only those who had reached the level of pinnacle true gods of void space could stay conscious, but their power could be significantly reduced as well, which was why Divine Eye True Master and the others all treated Luo Feng as their leader. He hadn't expected this Sector Beast to be able to attack at full strength even under the attack of his Divine Eye technique. Its willpower resistance is stronger than that of Divine Eye True Master, Luo Feng thought. His godly body is still intact. Sector Beast Morosa kept yelling in agony. It kept putting out the black light, trying to consume Luo Feng's body, but he found out that Luo Feng's body wasn't reduced at all. It knew for sure that its opponent's body must have been reduced, but it didn't realize that if the godly body was reduced, it only meant one thing. The percentage of the godly body was so small that it couldn't even recognize it. This shocked Morosa. His opponent had only lost such a small amount of godly power. The body of Firefly True Master would have been consumed completely by now, yet Luo Feng's godly body didn't seem to be reduced at all. Impressive. But he can't do anything about me, Sector Beast Morosa thought. Ha ha ha. Milky Way Horde Leader, is that all you've got? Sector Beast Morosa guffawed. I'm the most powerful creature in Universe Ocean, and that willpower shock doesn't work on me. I won't fight you anymore. Come at me, Hong. It separated into 99 pieces again and flew in 99 different directions. Luo Feng didn't chase them. He couldn't catch them. He saw Morosa disappear in the space, thinking as he watched it go. Like and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching.